Welcome to ARWP, the All Real Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Eric Novak, and today we have a special guest. He is Misterioso. Enjoy the video.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on here. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. All right, let's start with the first question. What made you become a pro wrestler, and on top of that, a luchador?
So I think just growing up, my father was a local. Well, he was a luchador. I think the difference just between luchador and pro wrestler, it just happens to be like their culture behind going into wrestling. For example, like the mask means so much more in lucha culture, right, than a pro wrestler sees it. It's always just a guy that uses a mask. But in lucha libre, it identifies you, and it actually becomes part of like your mystique and who you are, because it separates your personal life and the life that you have in the ring. And as a pro wrestler, I mean, you could still do that, but it's a little harder because, I mean, you go up there with your own face, right? And as a luchador, you get to hide behind, you get to be a little incognito in the ring. So, so just watching my dad, and then started watching TV, and then got into seeing Rey Mysterio on like WWE. And then from there, I started, I watched more. I was more intrigued in the lucha libre style. Then I started focusing on, at that point, Mystico was a big name, a big draw. Not only in lucha libre, but I think in pro wrestling as well. And just from there, I mean, I started basic training very young, before I was 10, and just kept up with it, and just debuted at a very young age, and just try to get better day by day.
Awesome! Wow, that's really cool. And I just wanted to talk more about lucha libre and just the challenges that you have to go through on an everyday life, and also what's the reward. Because a lot of fans, including me, look at a luchador and they want to know what meaning, what's the real meaning. And a lot of luchadors give their meanings, but it's never the same as everyone else. Everyone has a different story, a different legacy. What is yours?
So personally, I mean, mine is just Misterioso. In Spanish is Misterioso, but in English it translates to the mysterious one. Even the name was given to me by the original one, Roberto Castillo. He was actually a trainee of the original Rey Mysterio, Senior, Rey Mysterio 619's uncle. He was actually Rey Mysterio 2, Misterioso I'm talking about, the original one. Mm-hmm. And then from there, he wanted to go work for another company. I think it was CML or EML at that time. And they didn't want to have the Rey Mysterio 2, so he had to switch his name, and he came up with Misterioso, which is still a tribute to Rey Mysterio's in some sort of way, but also its own separate entity. And that's the root of the name. And passed down to me, what it means to me, it's basically the same thing, right? I mean, a lot of people probably aren't diehard lucha libre fans, or like they don't know the whole backstory of it. So for them, I'm basically the only Misterioso they know, and that's not like an ego thing. That's just like a reality thing. I think a lot of fans, younger fans, they see me and they're like, oh, that's Misterioso, and I think that's just like I'm pretty sure a lot of people just know Rey as the original Rey, right? Maybe they don't know that his uncle was the original Rey Mysterio. So I think it's just a generational thing. But I'm just happy to have an opportunity to not only entertain the fans, but try to live out some of my dreams.
Awesome. And with that said, I do want to know what some of your dreams are. My next question was going to be, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? But I feel like that recalls with your dreams. So tell me what your dreams are.
Well, I've been independent since I started. I have. I would want to say I've been performing in front of fans for about 10 years. A lot of people say pro, but I mean that's a strong word. So I don't know exactly when I turned pro, but I've been performing in front of fans for over 10 years. I probably did every place in California, a lot in the states, different parts of states, at least lucha shows. I've done in Baja California a lot, Tijuana, Ensenada, Rosarito, all that stuff. I did it at a period of time. Um, I did a little bit of Mexico City. I try to do a little bit more, but my basically at this point my focus is to have a platform to be a part of a company because independent is good, right? I think it's a great platform and a great way to market yourself, but ultimately you need at least somebody behind you or some sort of structure just so you can continue and build your legacy, whether it's with whatever company you end up choosing or whatever company you stay. But I think it's important to at least make your name and whatever company it is, and that's my goal right now to find a home. Luckily, in New Japan, with all this stuff that's going on, been my home for now, and I'm super happy. I mean, there's nothing I could say that's negative about that company. I mean, it would be a dream to be exclusively signed to them. But yeah, it's just so much craziness. So I understand the business side of it right now. But yeah, that's probably my goal, just
Awesome.
to be signed.
Awesome.
Not necessarily because I want to, just because of how the wrestling landscape is. I think that's probably the next step I need in order for my career to keep growing.
Well, that's phenomenal. Like I said, I'm a huge fan. I definitely feel like you will be signed very soon. And you brought it up, so I do want to talk about it. And we're not gonna like make it the entire interview, but I do want to talk about New Japan. How did the call? Because it's so ironic. New Japan is such a way away from home. It's not a U.S. wrestling. It's not like TNA or AEW or like and the small NWA, MLW. It's all the way in Japan, and they needed people. How did they find you? Because I'm sure they spoke to you about where they found you, what spark you gave to them. Tell me your first impression with when New Japan called you up to put you to all these tours. Because you're already on your third tour, if I'm not wrong, right?
I would say it would be my third tour. I debuted it for the company in November or December of
Mm-hmm.
last for a Lions Break project, and from there I went to the New Beginnings USA tour in the beginning of 2020, and then obviously all this stuff happened. So when we're doing these new when we're doing these events that are available on New Japan World, I guess that would be the third tour.
Yeah, because I mean, you guys, in my opinion, I didn't know how many. I spoke to a lot of people who did participated with you, and no one told me exactly how many days you guys did it. Because I know it's all over now. I know what we're watching now. You guys did a couple months ago, right? This isn't a live thing, right?
No, it's not live. It's they're taped, but they're just they're being distributed however the company decides to. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna ask you if you remember how many matches do you think you were in during this taping? During this.
I don't remember. I mean, the thing is that it's still in development, and then the company really doesn't how would I say, there's no clear direction in what it is. So it's really on need to know basis, and that's not just keeping stuff from you. It's really that's what it is. Uh, a reason I love New Japan is because it goes kind of side by side with like everything that Lucha Libre stands for, right? Like honor, integrity, and everything. And I think that's a big part of what at least New Japan does. Even in their taping and stuff, there's never a kind of, how would I say, there's never a script to New
Mm-hmm.
Japan. It's really an athletic competition. Whether people want to admit it or not, it's really like a fighting spirit kind of thing. So yeah, it's completely different from what's on. There's no like real storylines. It's really like who's better, and it's like just unique matchups that they bring to you. I think Fred Rosser, right, debuted it this week, and he was ex WWE. So that to me is pretty unique that he actually was incorporated to these shows because you would never guess it from at least his background. I mean, there's been WWE guys, but kind of in their own terms, but to be incorporated into New Japan, especially the USA shows, I think it just comes to show that they're trying to surprise everybody a little bit.
No, yeah, I agree with you 100%. New Japan puts a high respect in the wrestling food chain because, like you said, they don't care about promos, they don't care about scripts. It's just lucha libre, culture. It's fight to see who is the best. And with that being said, and again, New Japan is one of the most respectful companies because of that, because they don't believe they need a script. They don't need bad segments to sell tickets. And it proves it. They don't. Because when they come to the US, it's sold out. Or if you go there, it's sold out. But talking about that, there's such a high amount of people in that roster that are amazing, phenomenal talents, including ones that debuted like Alex Zane, Blake Christian, like you said, ex-WWE wrestlers, TJP included, and future ones like Colt Cabana, who will do events live in there. Who are some people that you want to face in one-on-one action, or that you hope to face in one-on-one action in the future?
Honestly, anybody, and I really say that just because I think that's the interesting part, right? That everyone has a unique style, and it's kind of because I think, like, for example, I'm gonna say, like, when you go to an indie show, right? I think you always want to see like a high flyer versus a high flyer, right? Or a grappler versus a grappler because you want to see who's the best. But I think what New Japan does is kind of incorporate whatever style both people have into their style, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a New Japan product, so it has to be incorporated back into like being the fighting style. So it's different, right? Because I think if you see a New Japan Blake Christian match, and then you see a regular Blake Christian match, from what I've seen, it's really different. I mean, he still does his moveset, but in a different way, and it's just different. I mean, it's just different. I don't know how to explain it. So to me, anyone in that environment would be completely different because I feel. For example, if I would face against Blake Christian, it would be different than if I would face against Blake Christian at an indie show anywhere, right? So it would be completely different. So that's why my genuine answer is anybody, because under that environment, it's just a different feeling. Maybe just I think the brand weighs a lot. Meaning, like, you kind of even if it's like I don't want to speak for anybody, but I think when you're in a New Japan locker room, you kind of have that in your mind, right? Just because it's not a regular locker room, even though technically it's an American show because it's New Japan USA, but you kind of have that aura that you see the Lion logo and everything. You're like, okay. So you take it a little bit differently than if I would show up, and not disrespecting indie shows, but if I would show up, it's like a little bit less pressure. You're kind of moving more freely. I mean, I still move freely now just because I've been more comfortable. But it's I feel a little bit more pressure whenever I perform in New Japan. Maybe it's a little nerves, or it's just you want to earn your spot and stuff. But yeah.
All right, not an issue. All right, but let me change the question to something else. What if you get signed to New Japan Pro Wrestling and you're there against Chaos, LSG, everything? You're there against all the groups. Who are 3 opponents that you'd want to face, that you want to check off that bucket list? Just 3.
Well, it would have to be the top guys. I mean, it would have to be probably Okada, Ibushi, and Tanahashi. I mean, I think to me it's at any company I would always want to aim aim to the highest place that I can, because it doesn't make sense if you go into a company and you want to be like in the middle or in the lower end. To me, that doesn't make sense. So I would genuinely, I mean, that would be the goal, right? If uh, hopefully one day, if I get signed to New Japan, that would be the goal, to go against Okada or Ibushi or Tanahashi, and just to prove that I belong in the same ring as them.
Awesome. All right, and my final New Japan Pro Wrestling question is: if you get signed, what faction would you want to join? Would it be Bullet Club, Lij, Chaos? What faction would you want to be a part of that you feel like best, applies to your character,
Right.
your inner you?
That to me is a little harder, because I think that has to do more to like who you are as a person, not necessarily a wrestler. Because you could be a great wrestler, but if you don't get along with your stable, then there's no point in being in there, right?
Yeah.
So I think I would have to get to know them a little bit better, just to make that accurate choice. But because right now I could just say anyone, but it wouldn't really be like a sincere answer. So I think I would have to know them better, kind of maybe go on the road and see what's up. But yeah, I mean, from the New Japan guys, and that I seen and that I look at their work, they're completely different styles. But like David Finlay and Juice Robinson, yeah, I mean, I look at them work and I see them obviously outside of the ring, and they're just great guys. So that's kind of my example. So whatever like that kind of environment is, I think I'm on board for that.
Okay, cool. And I lied. Sorry, one more question, and it's one that
Yeah, no worries.
Awesome. Watching New Japan recently with the six-way matches, 3-on-3. There's a special thing when you come out to someone's entrance music. They come out to your entrance music. When your team, you're like the leader of the team, and you are the one who like picked up the victories. Tell me how you feel about that. And New Japan, when they put you in matches like with PJ Black and all that, they like to make you like the team leader of the six-way match.
Yeah. I mean, I'm honored, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to be the leader of a team? But it comes with the responsibility. I mean, you obviously want to be the leader of a winning team, and then also I think, back to my whole thing, I think New Japan just puts a lot of emphasis on like roots, meaning I think for that team, I think I was only heavyweight, right? I want to say. So maybe that had to do a lot with it as well. And then probably I was like, even though I'm new there, I'm probably the one with like the more airtime in the New Japan camera and stuff. Because I think my partners were like Blake Christian, Adrian Quest, right? And Barrett, I think.
The match that I remember was TJP, ACH, Alex Zane against you, PJ Black, and Blake Christian.
Oh, okay.
You must have had a few, so it's like I'm not.
Exactly. So I mean, like I said, I'm honored. I'm not gonna lie, but I think it might be also like a heavyweight, junior heavyweight thing. But if it's not, I mean, I don't really. I don't count my outside victories until, you get what I'm trying to say.
I get exactly what you're trying to say.
As an outside person, I mean, I would be like, oh, that's pretty cool as well, right? Or like I would pay attention to that as well. But me as a talent, as someone still trying to kind of get in the company, I can't look at it that way, because you could make yourself look like a fool if you claim it. You get what I'm trying to say?
100%.
So I don't claim it, but I'm glad that you guys, I mean the fans and you as well, like pay attention to that, because I mean it comes to my mind, but you also kind of want to check your ego, right? Because I mean that's just part of the business, Maybe one day, maybe right now, I could be the leader of a team, but then I don't know. I could probably not even be on the card or something, So I always want to stay humble, just just so I could manage the ups and I could also manage the lows. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's to me it's also an honor. I mean, that theme music, New Japan actually made it. I mean, I used to come out to a song similar to that, but obviously it wasn't my song because it was like a big famous song. But that song's great. I love that song. I actually really love that song. I'm not just saying that just because.
All right, well, all right. So we're gonna leave New Japan for now. I don't know. I want to confirm. Did you tell me about how the call came for New Japan? Did you talk about that?
No, I didn't. Okay, so the call for that it goes back to me being humbled. I mean, to be honest, they didn't really look for me. I had to look for them. Meaning, so it's a funny story. Back when, because right now, if I'm not mistaken, New Japan is currently owned by Bushiroad, a company, right? I think before that it was owned by Yuke's Pacific, the toy company, and then I think before that it was owned by Antonio Inoki, the founder. So I'm just bringing that up because actually, like I said, I trained very young, so I actually trained and was allowed to train at the original LA dojo. The original LA dojo, you're talking about a dojo where TJ Perkins came out of, Alex Kozlov came out of, Rocky Romero was a part of it. I don't know if that's where he started his wrestling journey, but he was definitely a big part of it back when, I mean, he would go to like CML and dominate that division over there. Who else? Machine Gun Carl Anderson came out of that. Prince Devitt came out of that. So my thing is, like, when I was way younger, like probably not even teen yet, and I would see these guys, you know, and just obviously they would do their own thing. I would train mostly with the Lucha guys because it was different hour sets, but I would see them and before they became stars. And I just share this story because I think it comes full circle. Because in 2000, this was probably when I first, for the original LA Dojo, maybe that was like maybe 2003, 2004. And then more than a decade later, I find out that they're opening another LA Dojo, right? So I saw the news just like anybody else, and then I think they did seminars. I think they did a seminar, and I signed up for that. And it was a 5-day seminar. And yeah, bro, it was tough. It was tough. Everything that you think you know about wrestling was basically thrown out the window, and you were started from scratch. Maybe I don't know the exact number, but I know that maybe like 2/3 only finished to the last day. So it was tough in that part. And then from there, I built a foundation, meaning like I got invited back to more seminars. Because they just wanted to see me train and stuff. And that was honestly the original connection of me just working out on my dime and then getting invited back. Now just in getting invited back just so they could see a little bit more of me. And from there, that connection grew until finally there was a New Japan tryout. And then from there, I got the green light for the Lionsburg project. And yeah, from there, it was just kind of like off to the races, at least for now. I mean, it was a little stalled because of the COVID situation, but yeah, that's honestly my introduction to New Japan. I kind of had to look for that opportunity, but also I knew that I wasn't how do I say it? I wasn't going to start from scratch, because at that point I had already wrestled. I've wrestled in Japan before, not for New Japan, but for Dragon Gate. So my confidence was a little bit better, because I felt like there is no way I could be the suckiest guy at this place, So my thing was like just give it your best, and what happens. There was really no expectation, but like I said, thankfully I kept getting invited back, and then little by little until the trial happened, and after that was my shot. But like I said, I would be lying if I said they looked for me. I kind of had to keep knocking on that door until they finally opened it for me. And right now, I mean, I consider the door open right now, even though like I'm not signed with them full time. But I really love that company, man. I really do. I hope we could we could get something rolling. And yeah, because that to me is, out of all the companies, I think that is probably the company I love the most, just because it's so pure. There's no hidden agendas. You kind of know what you're gonna sign up for when you're there, and you kind of know. I mean, obviously nothing is known until you're there, but you have a good feeling that if you just work hard, things are gonna be okay for you.
Wow. All right. That was a lot to hear. Thank you for that. Thank you for telling me, the truth of like how you managed to be where you are now. And again, like you said, I hope to see you there. Everyone, who's watching this and message me, and definitely, my friends who wanted you on here definitely want to see you there shine. And in my opinion, a luchador is what they need. And that's just my like opinion, that they have so much, and I think lucha libre is something they want to use as their. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, yeah, it just lost for a second. Yep. So, all right, so go to the next thing, and that's the best thing about lucha libre. The best thing about luchadors, I love it, is gear. Your gear is one of the coolest, badass gear I've ever seen. My favorite gear is one that you wore in New Japan. It's like half the American flag, half all black.
Right.
Awesome. Tell me, do you make your own gear? Is that like your own design? How do you?
Well, the design, like I said, the design is kind of already like the main things, like the eyes and everything's already established from the original Misterioso character. But I do add my own twist to it by the colors, or like, for example, this mask has the ears open and has like a earring on this side kind of thing. So I still add my own flavor. I add my colors to it. Yeah, and I mean that I still add my taste to it. Like if you would put a side by side photo of the '90s Misterioso versus me, there's really not a lot of similarities. Just because of them, you'll probably obviously know it's the same person, or not the same person, but the same image, just because of the mask. But like, for example, I wear sleeves. The other one didn't, stuff like that. And then it's just different, even from the designs on the tights and everything. It's my design. So yeah, man, I try to change it up, and that just goes back to my lucha libre culture. A true luchador always, I mean, unless they're known for those colors, they could always like reinvent themselves. Like, I don't know if you're a lucha libre fan, but like Santo, he's always the silver, right? Blue is obviously the blue. So unless you're kind of that iconic or like that, then you could do whatever you want, as long as you still obviously respect it and everything. And yeah, man, I mean, I love it. Like I love it, but more than anything, I see it as a professionalism. I really, that to me is what I give to the sport, so to speak. You get what I'm trying to say?
Of course.
I like to invest in myself, and that's a big way to show it, right? That I've been trying. Hopefully, I could continue the trend, but I've just been trying to pull out, all the gear I have out on these New Japan shows, and yeah, man, hopefully you like more than those. But yeah, the American one was one of my favorites as well.
I like a lot of them. That one's just one that stands out to me, just because I've never seen like a kind of look like that. Like, I like a lot of your gear. I respect you in that. Your gear is one of the coolest ones. You have all different kinds, and I love it. A lot of them. That one just stood out to me because I've never seen something so iconic, in that way, where it's like half black, half of it. I liked it. It was something that no one's ever done before, and it's amazing because when you do something like the American flag, thousands of wrestlers have done it, but never like that. That's why it stood out.
Yeah, well, like my both of my parents are Mexicans, but I mean, I was born in the U.S. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, so I mean, I love America. But so usually lucha libre, the kind of the American flag supposed to be like, in lucha libre, at least Mexican lucha libre, it's supposed to be like villaining it, right? Because it's a foreigner or whatever. But for myself, I kind of just I love obviously the colors and everything. So So I kind of just wanted to kind of switch it, and like you said, I'm glad you took it that way, where it's kind of iconic and it looks cool, because I didn't want to have it just like a super patriotic thing. So I think by just putting half the black on it, it like, what the hell, you kind of take a double look instead of saying, oh, it's just a probably American lucha guy. You get what I'm saying? You kind of still like, what is he trying to do? But yeah, man. I mean, stuff like that. I have different ones, but yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites, because if you even check, one of the eyes is open and the other one is.
I've seen
closed.
that. I've seen that. Yeah. And that's not just you have a lot of gear that's like that. Like I saw your green white one when you did the tag match with Adam Solo. I think I'm saying his name right. I could be wrong.
So yeah.
You have
Mexico. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
that
you
one,
have.
I love that one too. And I don't know. I just like like the flag colors. I think that's why they're on flags, right? But I think those colors go so well. And then it also means something, right? So for the Mexican theme one, it's coming from my Mexican roots, my Mexican lucha libre style. So yeah, man, I love representing, and like I said, I don't really stick to a kind of a go-to color. So for me, switching is the best part of my whole persona.
Awesome. All right. Something I gotta talk about now. After we just talked about your whole gear and stuff like that, is merch. And I know a lot's been going on right now, where it's like, I don't know if I should want to sell merch right now. I don't know if I want to invest in stuff. So let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the future. I don't know if that. I'm sure that's your shirt. That's your shirt on merch, right?
Yeah. So this one hasn't came out. That's funny. This one is the new design of Misterioso. It's kind of like a Mexican like a calavera kind of design, and then it has like Team
Oh,
Misterioso.
that's cool. I love that. Yeah. That's awesome.
So I have other ones, but this one hasn't came out. Yeah, just to me, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, right now it's a tough time for everyone, right? I think especially for pro wrestlers, including myself, man. I mean, I don't have a job outside of wrestling. So, but at the same time, I don't want to put myself out there, to ask for people that maybe they don't have right now. You get what I'm trying to say?
Of course.
So, that's my whole thing. Like right now, the only thing I'm selling is face masks, and that's through luchamask.com. Protect the face mask. That's through Lucha, and that's just like a partnership I have with that company, and they're the ones that actually distributing and making them. But I actually have them, and they're great, man. They're super cool, especially if you're trying to stand out and like just represent like not only lucha libre, but like if you have like a design in as a face cover, because I live in California, so anywhere you go right now, it's like mandated to wear those in the supermarket, anywhere. So I mean, I think it'd be great if you represented your likes in that way, right? But yeah, as far as merch, I do have merch. But I think until probably we do live events, or I do live events, I'll probably push that out. Just because if you're at a venue, I think that's the best way to promote it. If I promote it during my on my social media, I'll probably get a couple of people trying to buy it. But I mean, you got what I'm trying to say. I rather just wait.
I hear you. That's why my question wasn't like right now. Let's dream. Let's start going over the future hits. What gear? Let me give you some. Let me just shoot you some things. Tell me if you consider ever making this, or have ever considered. So one big thing that I would love, it would go good in my collection, is masks. Not your ring worn. I mean, if you're not sentimental, I guess you could do ring worn, but I feel like that's a different like level. I'm talking about like just generic homemade masks. Yeah. Is that something that you were considering doing in the future?
Yeah, I actually had masks like that, like a generic mask, like maybe kids mask or adult size mask, not the ones I wear like pro grade, but I've had those masks. But yeah, it's just I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to to get into a partnership with someone, just because from what they explained to me, it kind of takes the same effort as a real mask. The only different thing is you're kind of using cheaper material, so to
Yeah.
speak. So that's because you can't really just put. It's not like a machine where you can just put another shirt and just press down on the machine or however they're done. This one you kind of gotta sew everything, especially if it's my mask. Kind of has a lot of like parts in it. It has like a mohawk, and then it has So I understand that part, but I did have some, and yeah, man, when I have those, they sell out almost instantly. Yeah, my pro masks are the ones that to be honest, I don't even like to sell them. Like I only sell them when like somebody approaches me, and I usually, even if they approach me, I kind of just shake it off, just because not only it doesn't mean a lot to me, but it takes a lot. It costs a lot of money to make.
Of course.
Like I said, the material is completely different. You're talking about a material that has to stretch, that has to like be kind of durable and everything, and that looks cool at the same time. So it costs a lot to make, and then also when I wrestle with it, it means so much more to me. So it's kind of hard to put a price on that. But I have sold a lot of. I'm not gonna say I've sold ring-worn masks, but that's kind of something like if somebody comes up to me and like really tells me like, hey man, I'm a collector or whatever. Yeah, it's not really something I advertise as well. But
I hear you completely.
Whenever I get kind of those kid masks or kind of like just souvenir masks, I like to call them. I definitely put them out there. But yeah, they sell out super fast. But like I said, it's hard, especially probably now, to even find a part.
All right, well, let's talk about one more thing. And again, this is the future, and it's something that I would love to, especially because you're a luchador. Have you ever considered doing an action figure? Not anything too big, just stuff like I've seen a lot of wrestlers, pull out like high spots, like little, cheap, not cheap, but like just manufactured. You could tell they're not licensed. Have you ever considered doing something like that?
Yeah. Like I said, it all comes down to just cost for me, like cost, and then it's funny because I actually had more people give me my own action figures than I've sold some. Like I think I've never put out an action figure line. But I do have action figures because, like I said, they've actually brought them to me like, hey, I made this or something. I'm like, oh, cool. And I signed it. They're like, no, it's for you. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. Oh my God, I don't know what to say at that point. You know what I'm saying? I'm so thankful for people that do that. Not just because they give me something, no, because it takes an effort for them to, go out of their way, waste whatever money they wasted. But not only that, the time they have to put into it, show a picture and get it, or if they don't do it themselves, get it done. So I always appreciate stuff like that. But like I said, my number one priority right now is probably just training and wrestling and stuff. So I think like maybe if my popularity boosts, I can take chances on the merch, because but right now the new, it's funny because the newest shirt I have is this one on. And this one, I have it still, but I haven't pushed out and stuff. And they've been asking me like, hey, like, do you have any new shirts? I have the other two and stuff. I'm like, no, not yet, but I'll let you know. I just because of the whole situation and the way everything's set up right now. Even like the post office is a little crazy right now. And everything's just a little off right now. But yeah, man, hopefully in the future, that goes back. That probably even goes kind of full circle to just being backed by a platform, right, or a company. All those opportunities come easier to you because their setup is already like that. For example, like maybe a WWE already could get you those action figures, right, or AEW or a TNA or even a New Japan. I know New Japan comes out with action figures, so that just goes back to my whole thing. My thing at this point right now is not really
trying the merch. It's more about getting to the company.
It's more about, to me, less is more at this point, kind of thing. So yeah, it's like I kind of all these ideas I've thought of as well, but it's not only because of money, it's just because of the time I'm gonna have to put it. And I also don't like to give the fans like a BS product. You get what I'm saying? Something just to stamp my name on it and for they could buy it. Like all the shirts I've made, I've really tried to make the best shirts I can, like from quality to the fabric to even the colors and everything. Goes the same for the partnership I have for the face mask. Those are probably one of the best face masks I've seen. And it just goes from everything I do because I really want to keep my brand as professional as I can. Meaning, like from when I go into the ring to the experience that I have after if you buy a shirt from me or whatever the case is.
All right, yeah, I completely understand. You know, right now it's all about getting signed. Right now it's all about supporting your family, getting that paycheck to give you these big dreams, to give you the figure, to give you the mask.
Yeah.
Completely get that. All right, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Tell people where they can find you on social media so we can get you to that higher point that you want to be, so people can follow you, so people can support you in the same way that I want to.
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter and Instagram at It's Misterioso. That's ITSMISTERIOSO. It's basically ITS, like it's, and my name Misterioso. So yeah, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, I'm trying to also build those up. But yeah, man, like I said, honestly, I'm just focused on training and training and working out and just waiting for that next opportunity, man. And you guys can catch me on New Japan World. Last week I had a match against Carlos Fredericks. This week I'm not on it, but hopefully next week I am.
All right, thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'll see you for the next one. If you haven't done so yet, please like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't checked out Misterioso's work, go check it out. All his information is in the bio below. If you haven't watched New Japan Strong yet, New Japan Struggle, or anything that's happening on New Japan World Friday nights, go check it out. Their roster is unbelievable. There is so much amazing potential with that show. I'll see you guys for the next one. Thank you.